Welcome to Liberal 12th Man Show. I am the Liberal 12th Man, just like you. And I am joined by the Irishman today. How are you doing, Irishman?
Bit of a sore head, but not too bad. And not for that reason before anyone says it in the
Yeah,
comments. No.
I got your pause. Um, yeah, some unfortunate news if you're a Netherlands fan or a Holland fan or a Dutch fan, however you want to say it. They ended up losing 2-3 in their matchup today. Wasn't
Okay, that.
expecting that. Cody Hackbo scored, but yeah, it looked like it was just too much of Austria, who ended up scoring late. Actually,
Oh, really good game.
yeah, ended up being a decent game for actually
The,
probably one of the
the second
more
half.
what's that?
For the second half, I suppose. The first half was a bit dull, now that
Yeah,
thinking about it. But it really kind of, it sparked into life big time in the second half.
yeah, yeah. I was gonna say as in it was you know, a little bit of a back and forth one affair. Um, Netherlands didn't do it themselves any bit of I won't say justice, more so like any help, or it didn't provide any help to themselves by scoring their own goal in the beginning of the game. But still, it was one of those things where hey, it's going to be interesting how it shapes out because third place can still get you into the next round. So so yeah,
Yeah,
we
the highest placing third teams. I'm not sure exactly how many of them, but it's like the best. I'm gonna say it's like four or whatever,
yeah.
but whatever it is, three or four of the best. But they've got 4 points, so probably in with a good shout. They didn't look kind of distraught at the end, so they probably think they've got a good chance.
Yeah, I think they probably think they have like a good chance
Yeah.
of getting in with 4 points being the total. Let's see, see, I'm looking to see how much other points there are. Another
And
week.
if you look at France, France have qualified from the group, and the only goals that they've scored have been a penalty and an own goal.
Yeah, yeah,
With
yeah.
all that talent, all those players, a a good crowd behind them because it's you get a lot of easy to get to Germany from France. So
Hmm.
a lot of support there for them. It's basically their own backyard. It's as close to a home as they'll get, and to do that, I know Mbappe was injured, but to an own goal and a penalty today, that's shocking. Like the England fans are up in arms about how bad they are. Like they're unbeaten um, until tonight. See how that goes. But they're qualified.
How it
They're
goes?
unbeaten.
Yeah, we'll
But
be live. We'll be live, I guess, or we should be still live pretty much by the start of the game at least. We'll give you updates
yeah,
and the likes. Hopefully, some of our UK brethren will tune in and or tune in now or tune in then and stay tuned in even though the game will be on. I understand that it is important settings for them.
we
Very
can
very
keep an eye on it. I have
yeah
I have two screens there. I can have it on in the court. We can keep an eye on what's happening. So,
yeah for sure
but did
because
you see what happened with Lewandowski?
no.
Yeah, he missed the pen. Like he did this really awful run up, kind of stop start thing, and missed the pen for Poland. But it got retaken, and he scored it. I don't know why it was retaken, but didn't mattered nothing to them in
Was
the
it
end.
like the goalkeeper was off the line or something early or something?
Not sure because they're showing the other game here. They're showing the Austria game.
Ah,
But
okay.
yeah, it's been great. It had, like the Germans put up five in the first game.
Hmm.
The Spain scored three. But the England, France, kind of underwhelming. Some kind of underwhelming, but that's tournament football. It's just about getting through, isn't it? It's like
Yeah, yeah, it is.
you're
It's
qualified.
about yeah. It's one of those things where it's like with tournament football, at least my perception of tournament football, excuse me, it's not about it's not necessarily about form. It's just about getting through whatever it is that you have to get through. Like sure you would love to be playing beautiful football and the likes, but it all comes down to results and points, and that's
Never happens.
because it's such a quick transition. You have 3 games to get it together, to get into that next round, and then it becomes single elimination, So it's one of those cases where it's like, yeah, let's just get through these situations. And it does look like I'm looking at the third place teams. There's 4. You're right about 4 teams going on,
4.
but right now Holland sits at the top of the third place teams groups with 4 points.
Okay, so.
Let's see. Slovakia is in second. Hungary is in third, and Slovenia is in fourth. With 4 points for Dutch, 3 for Slovakia, and 3 for Hungary, and 2 for Slovenia. So it looks like maybe Dom gets through. Maybe our Dom gets through.
Yeah, well, if Slovenia win tonight, if they beat England, if Slovenia beat England,
well, yeah, that makes a difference. And then they move.
So.
Yeah, they move out of that spot, but I don't think that's going to affect Netherlands. It doesn't still.
No, they should be safe. You'd imagine they'd be safe.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly who else is playing, but yeah,
but it's like the same things. Like you could have Turkey going through. Technically, Turkey could go through with 4 points themselves. They could end up with 4 points. I think. Who does Turkey have next? Turkey has Czechoslovakia, the Czech Republic. So
yeah, very winnable game, and they rested players in the previous game. They didn't bring in Goulier, and it kind of came back to bite them. So they'll be going all out to win that. They had kind of obviously targeted that game as the one to get 3 points.
The Group E has all the teams in Group E all have 3. They've all played 2. They're in the last game coming up. All the teams in Group E have a shot to win it. It's Romania, Belgium, Slovakia, Ukraine. All have 3 points.
Yeah, Belgium are playing Ukraine tomorrow.
Yep. So a lot of efforts, a lot of movement still left on a lot of these teams to actually to get around.
There'll be a few people, like there'll be teams sitting there watching other games, like with 5 minutes to go, hey Cedric, and they would like bite their nails. Like there's going to be a lot riding on games that teams aren't playing in.
I think England's pretty much in though. I mean, England's got 4 points. Even if they were to lose to Slovenia, they'd still have 4 points, enough to get through on third. On that third place bracket thing. So that is what. Big up Philip. How you doing? Big up Cedric. Big up Bernie. Yeah, it should be. They should be all right. Well, since we are all here, for what I think we all here for, and that is, I was doing a little. Brazil played yesterday, and wasn't exactly the kind of result that they were looking for. They ended up getting a 0-0 draw. Big up Alexander. How you doing, Alexander? They ended up getting a 0-0 draw with Costa Rica, and it wasn't exactly a great game for Brazil. They had their moments where they possibly could have gotten, a penalty to bail them out, or maybe they could have gotten even. They did have one goal that got taken away, basically because of an offsides, and it was it was a kind of I wouldn't say dodgy offsides, but it was one that you had to definitely take a firm look at. But They're in the group of Colombia. Colombia did their thing. They ended up with a 2-1 win in their result or their matchup. And why I'm bringing up the Brazil game is because we're about to talk about a Brazilian that I think that all of us have some very fond memories of, or at least has some fond thoughts. The guy that certainly could light up the room with his smile, and was certainly a unifier, a leader, and a unifier on this club and this team. I can't stress enough about how much and how important I really do think that Bobby was for the club. I at times I was one of the first and one of the few advocating for him to stay with the club. I know eventually every player has to move on. I get that, but I was advocating for him to possibly stay on for one more year, maybe just at least to see if we could utilize him in a 10 role. It's the role that I wanted to see Bobby be used in. Because I mean, I know that Brian brought it up yesterday, when we were doing our number 10 show, excuse me, when we were doing our number 10 show, that's one of the roles I would have loved to see Bobby play. I mean, he virtually did play a 10 role in that, despite playing obviously a false 9, he pretty much played a 10 role in the sense of being a facilitator, being someone that, that really created for our inside forwards, as opposed to being an outright, striker. So
kind of created his own little niche role, didn't he? Kind of
yeah, he definitely did. I think.
nine and a half, 10.5, 7.5, 8 3/4, whatever you want to. Yeah, he was. It's like that was why I always go, oh, come in and replace Bobby or this Bobby that. It's like, just stop. You're not going to buy a new
Mm-hmm,
Bobby. You can buy a new
mm-hmm,
left back or you can buy a new central defender, but there's nobody out there with his skill set. So it's
I
like
don't
when
think
you
so.
lose
Yeah.
him, you just change your system. You change the way you play because don't try and get somebody to go, okay, what I want you to do is what Bobby Firmino did.
You
Half
know,
what
it's
he did was on instinct, really, wasn't it?
yeah. I was about to say that. Yeah, it was that just that football knowledge that he had, and skill and just flair. It's funny because
The hardest
when
working
Bobby first
Brazilian in the
arrived
West.
here, no one really knew what we were really getting per se in that, or how we were going to utilize him in this team, because Brendan Rodgers really did not, really didn't. I guess Brendan Rodgers wasn't taken with Bobby's smile the way some of us were, you know.
Yeah, bit of teeth
Um,
envy going on there.
yeah,
Well, Brendan didn't
um,
want him. Let's just have it straight. Brendan didn't want him.
yeah,
Didn't want to buy him.
yep. I mean,
Straight up,
it's
didn't
not
want to
like
buy
it
him.
wasn't like he was a cheap transfer either. He
Nope.
was 29 million pounds.
It's a huge amount of money for us to
It's
spend
a
on
lot of
someone that
money at the time, at least. It was a lot of money, you know.
playing for
Um,
Hoffenheim. Most people had never watched him play, and all
Probably
of a
not.
sudden we're
Probably not.
spending 30 million quid on some guy who, and it's sort of like, yeah, what does he do? Well, he's like everyone's like, oh, he's an attacking midfielder. Is kind of what some people said, and it's like an attacking midfielder who could play up front was
Right.
sort of what we. That's what I kind of thought was okay, cool. He's
Yeah.
Brazilian. Bring
That's
it
why
on.
I thought he would be he can make a transition to a number 10 because
Yeah,
of that
bring it
comment
on.
right there, that statement right there. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like I didn't. Again, not going to say I knew a lot, but I'd be like, yeah, this guy sounds great. Bring him in. But
Yeah.
it was just the biggest sort of thing about that transfer, I suppose, was the way it was kind of conducted without really. Yeah, it was came out pretty quick.
Hmm.
That we had done a deal that Rogers wasn't involved in, basically.
Hmm. Hmm.
We sent him off on some dummy run somewhere.
Hmm.
They told him to go and watch. I don't know. He was gone somewhere, and
Hmm.
while Rogers was wherever he was, the two boys fly out to South America. I think Colombia he was in. I think at the time or something, like somewhere in South America they flew out, met up with him and did the deal. I think they might have been at a tournament or something. Probably were at some kind of tournament, and they went out and to spend that, like you say, like if it had been some guy for like 3 million quid, he's a teenage prospect and the transfer committee wanted him.
Right.
Okay, you could, yeah, whatever, cool. Brendan didn't want him. Yeah, he's like, he cost 2 million quid. Who cares? But to go out and put down that kind of money on a player that the press were pretty much very much aware of immediately that the manager was not involved in doing it. I mean, some people would walk.
Right. Right.
A bigger manager would walk. You don't do that to me. You don't humiliate me like that in the press. I'm out here, like, but Brendan
Mhm.
wasn't big enough to do that. And
Mhm.
I think it showed in the way, I wouldn't say he used them intentionally badly, but I'm supposed to probably get onto that. But obviously,
Mhm.
Brendan never got the best out of him.
Mhm. Yeah, he didn't,
So,
and he never. I don't think that he was ever intending to really utilize him
no,
playing.
probably not.
Being the stubborn Brendan. Um, that at least that's the perception that I had of Brendan Rodgers, that he did certainly he was somewhat locked in his own ways, which a lot of managers are. So all power to them. But yeah, I just thought that it made a difference. We were fortunate enough to bring in the Brendan Rodgers reign ended in October, of that 2015 season. And
Hey,
yeah, exactly. And
a 1-1 draw with Everton was what sealed his fate.
yep, yep. And then basically it meant the start of a beautiful relationship with our beloved Klopp, and it also meant that hey, maybe Bobby's going to get an opportunity, and Bobby got an opportunity against Manchester City that year, and I want to say he was playing up front with I know Coutinho was up front with him. I can't remember. Yet someone hopefully in chat can remind us who was on
Where's
the
Norm?
yeah. Where's Norm when you need him? Yeah. um, it might have been Lalana. I'd have to double check for you guys because I know that it was I
Klopp's
know that was
first
a
game.
big that was a yeah.
Well, Klopp's first game was the 1-1 draw with Spurs.
Right. But I meant the
Lallana
first game that he
started that.
started. First game I think that Bobby started was like when we went to the Etihad.
Oh,
We
okay.
won. We won the game like 4-1. I think 4-1 4-0. No, 4-1 4-1. It was Lalana. Yeah, okay, Lalana. All right, we won. We really brought it to him that game. That was one of the few games that we actually like won at Etihad, and we won
Yeah.
convincingly.
That was the "we're back, baby" moment
Yeah,
when we went
yeah,
there and did them 4-1. That was
yeah,
like, this guy is the real deal, and it's working.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Waited up. I think we were up like it was. I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, 32 minutes we were up by 3-0, 3-0, but in 32 minutes, it's pretty good. That was the kind of Liverpool that I enjoyed watching. It's just those
Yeah,
games where you're just like, okay, yeah, okay, I'll have another Carlsberg. Yeah, let's go. Like that kind of game.
yeah. We
But
lost. We lost a bit of that, I think, didn't we?
yeah,
By the
yeah,
time Klopp had left, I think tactics changed and the way we could play had changed. But yeah, that
yeah,
kind of insane pressing and just, I don't know, like Robbo, Lalana,
yeah,
um, just built to do it. Bobby, just
yeah,
non-stop. Henderson, it was crazy. It was like
yeah.
teams just didn't know what to do.
They didn't.
100 mile an
They
hour all the
didn't.
time.
That was the like. I think it was like it's almost like when you go to a dance and the music is like they're playing the same pop songs left and right, and then all of a sudden someone puts on like like Pantera or something like that. And you're like,
Yeah.
what are we supposed to do? It was one of those days. It was like, oh my gosh, the head banging and stuff like that. Yeah, that was definitely when Klopp's heavy metal really hit the Premier League by force. So I basically, hello, Marion, by the
Hi,
way.
Marianne. Hi. How you doing?
I put together a 9 moments basically. So I came up with to honor the number 9. And because Bobby has had many moments, I'm sure that there's some moments that I picked that probably someone else out in the chat, maybe yourself, didn't pick or wouldn't have picked, or but you might have had another moment in its place. Not saying it's anything less of a moment, but maybe it's not, doesn't share the radiance of it all for you. So I have this list of 9, and I wanted to hear and
Radiance.
see how you guys remember,
Radiance,
feel or
folks.
remember these memories. What was that, Brian?
Radiance.
The
Radiance.
radiance. Yes, the
Radiance,
radiance.
folks.
Yes.
There you go. You're not going to get radiance everywhere. You're going to get it here. Come on.
Yes, certainly.
I'm looking forward to because I'm like me. I'm terrible with remembering things, but to me, yeah. But just for me, when you say Bobby, obviously you just think no look goals, and you just think. So I'm sure there's going to be plenty of that, but that's the first thing that when I think of that,
yeah.
the first thing that comes into it is no look
Yeah.
goals. Just absolutely, I just love that show. That's what I love. That showboaty flair in that when a player has that in him, I was going to say you can't buy that, but you can't teach that. I just love a player that has that about him. He brought it in. Yeah. I just utterly, I know there's never any point to doing them, but like he just made he the most pointless no look everything.
Yeah.
He was just so funny, and he was just laughing at himself. Yeah. He was so
Yeah.
funny, man. That was the thing about Bobby. He just made you laugh. He made you just really laugh. Just smile watching the game.
Well, let's begin with number 9 then. I put as our number 9, as the number 9 moment at least. I put his double at Old Trafford. I put the double at Old Trafford in 2020, 2021. It wasn't that year was not easy for us. Let's just be honest. We definitely struggled to make top 4. But as all Reds do, you just got to believe. And you know how I am about Mr. Positivity. I certainly did believe that we could at least get top 4. And we went to Old Trafford, and we ended up winning that game 4-2 at Old Trafford. Let's see. It was
pretty standard these days.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Pretty standard.
Late level, yeah, pretty much. But last year, different story. I don't know what it was last year, but yeah, 4-2. We won that game. First goal for him. He was an incredible cross from Trent Alexander-Arnold. And then there was another one that he ended up following up off again. Alexander-Arnold. I know we spoke about this earlier I think we spoke about Trent Alexander-Arnold, about him not being a dynamic player or not being such a player that he's this and that, but it's about Bobby. Again, follow-up rebound shot from Trent Alexander-Arnold. What was interesting about that day, or at least not about that day, but at least about Old Trafford and Bobby, is that against Manchester United, Bobby didn't score that many goals against them. So he's at 18 appearances against them, and he's only scored 4 times, which is kind of crazy. I didn't really recognize. I always thought that there's some, how some players have that team that they just end up really being being the team that they're able to like, shine against. Bobby played well against United, but he wasn't necessarily like a goal scorer phenomenon against United. And but that day he scored two. I mean, he scored half his goal tally or goal scoring tally against them was on that night or on that day, I should say. So I mean, I had that at number 9. I also had there's this other at number 8. At number 8, I thought was a funny instance because it reminded like we've had a couple of run-ins with the Spurs, and this was when Mourinho was at the helm for Spurs, and there was a interesting take done by it was broadcast and pointed out because Tim Sherwood, right, was the announcer for I think it was for BT, and he was like we were pretty much like he didn't expect us to get any result from the game. This is during the pandemic, so there's only like 2,000. This is at the time when people were allowed in the game, but not necessarily like it wasn't a complete like empty stadium, but there was 2,000 people there. There was a couple. It was an interesting game because it was a game that if you thought about it, you probably didn't think that we're going to get a result. The funny thing about it is, let me bring up the quote at least. Let me bring up the quote. Spurs, because Tim Sherwood was former Spurs, first Spurs gaffer. He said, bold prediction. This is his bold prediction. He says, "I'm not too worried about these corners." He said to the viewers of the day. He says, "I think Spurs have got the dominance in the air, so I'm not sure anybody can get their head on the first ball for Liverpool." Well, Bobby said, "How about you hold my beer? I'll be right back." He had an incredible header that ended up scoring in that game, and we end up winning 2-1 in that game. Obviously, it was a memorable year for us that year too, because it was Anfield, December 2000, and it was. Yes, yeah, exactly. Norm just put it exactly what I need to say. He says, Tim Sherwood said, "No danger on corner, no danger on the corner." I guess he doesn't recognize that Bobby can score with his feet and his head. He is a magician in this sense, It was definitely pretty cool because after he scored, he just it was that very very reminiscent Bobby smile. You know what I mean? Despite there not, it's unfortunate. That year was unfortunate that we just couldn't have the fans enjoy that year. Really, that's the only beat part about that memory, at least. But it was still a memory all the same.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hi, Bonkers. Hey, Bonkers.
Big up Bonkers. Big up Bonkers.
Tim Sherwood,
What's that?
Tim Sherwood,
Yeah.
Oh, what a moron. What an absolute moron. I think the guy, I think I don't know where he shouldn't be on commentary. Definitely not a manager.
Mm-hmm.
Just one of the worst. Definitely one of the worst.
I have number 7 being a memory that I thought was really, really incredible memories early in our Klopp experience. And again, I don't know if Norm traveled for this game or not, but but I had basically the game against Roma, semifinal basically in Champions League. Absolutely masterclass when it came to this game because I know we already had a 5-2 first leg lead going into it, but it was an absolute incredible game. Do you remember that game against Roma? 2017, 2018 campaign?
No.
No? Okay.
I need visual
Basically,
prompts. I need
oh
visual
yeah,
prompts.
I know. I looked to get some visual prompts. I couldn't get any that were like under the 6 second, blurb.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
But yeah, let me see if I can get an actual visual prompt for you then. But it was an incredible game. 2017, 2018. Look, it was a semifinal against Roma. It was at Anfield. It was a great night. It just continued to push into what really created for me like the lure of um, of of Liverpool and of Bobby, and because originally we went in 5-2, right? 5-2 first leg lead, but Roma scored at Anfield 4 goals that day. So it
Oh yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
like,
I remember that game. I remember that game. Yeah.
okay, yeah, okay. Now it's all starting to come back to you. Okay, yeah, we were so we basically were down in that game 6-5 on aggregate, you know, in all technicalities, and we ended up winning that game 7-6 on aggregate, and because we ended up losing the game in 4-2, but we ended up moving on in aggregate, because we scored those 2 goals, and like, oh man, it's just, it wasn't necessarily Bobby's scoring. It was in this game Bobby's assist that made the difference, and yeah, that was a really, really that was an incredible game. I don't know about you, but I thought that there were times where doubt started to creep in a little bit. A little bit of doubt started to creep in very quickly, despite the fact that you know how we went from cloud nine to kind of like biting our fingernails was pretty
Yeah.
incredible. Yeah, yeah. There was go ahead.
No, it's when you said the 4 goals.
The
Yeah,
four
I
goals
remember.
that that
Yeah, I
brought back
remember
to
that
me.
one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Because that's the whole thing about it is like you don't want to I know that year we ended up going on, obviously losing to our Champions League nemesis in Kiev that year, but um, it was there was a little bit of glimmer of hope to think that okay, yeah, the comeback kings, we could certainly be we're holding true to that comeback kings, never give up kind of mentality in us. Um, that was my number 7. Okay.
Look, can I just say,
Mhm.
I understand that there is an England match on
Mhm.
tonight, but there's no need for the chat to go full carry on. Okay, so let's keep it down with the busty pastry girls, and this is a family channel. It's only not
Busty
even 8
pastry.
o'clock. Oh, they're
I
having a
don't know what that
yeah.
even means. Yeah.
Oh yeah, topless models, shall we say, in popular daily newspapers.
Okay.
Uh, Apparently, Tim Sherwood had a dalliance
Oh.
mm,
Oh. I
with a
got you.
younger lady
I got you.
who
Enough
was
said. Enough
yeah,
said. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Um. Okay. So yeah, I don't know. Trying to smoothly transition from there. Um. So number 6. Let's just get one for number 6 then. Number 6 brought us is another assist, because what's great about Bobby is that with Bobby there wasn't necessarily, it wasn't just, it's not, this list isn't all goals. This isn't all goals. Some might be, and then it's not even all assists really. because I mean, some of the lead up play, the build up play was just incredible as well. Um, but at number 6, I had the assist against Newcastle of 2019. It was an assist that was just absolutely incredible. It's another, again, it's one of those like it was the one where he like flicked it off both his feet, like he like did like a 2 touch with the flick, and like and Salah just charging forward was able to like get the ball. We ended up winning 3-1 in that game, but oh man, it was one of those cases where it was like that's Bobby. Like as in the Brazilian flair that he had, that was Bobby right there. And like that was one of the great moments I thought from Bobby. Like as in when you want to remember him, that was certainly something that you could say was was like easily to associate with him. Like you're speaking on some of the assists that you got to see, you know. He has an incredible ability to do that too.
Yeah, when you're talking about him, I mean, if you'd asked me to say 10 things about, like, say not ten, at least, but say like the first 5 things or whatever, goal scorer wouldn't be one of them. I mean,
Mhm.
you're talking about 256 games, 82 goals. Now, 82 goals is a lot of goals, but he spent
Right.
8 seasons at the club. So 82 goals over 8 seasons, you're averaging around 10 a season. And that to me was kind of Bobby. He was never, he never went on scoring bursts, where he was troubling. He was never going to be a golden boot winner. He was never going to
Mhm.
be, a Pachichi. He was capo cannoniere. He was just going to be the facilitator, the guy that, and to play that role whilst also not not being a goal scorer, but to create so much. I mean, how many would Salah have? Like you said it
Yeah.
last. I thought you were a little bit. You said like, oh, well, Mane was only as good as he was, um, because of Bobby is what you said. That's the comment you made. I mean, maybe you didn't mean it just like, but you were saying like
Yeah. No,
Bobby.
that is true. I think that's a major
Yeah,
thing. Yeah.
but how many
Yeah.
goals?
I think he helped Mane's level raise up a level. I think.
Oh,
I
and
definitely did.
Salah, but and Salah,
And
I
Salah's
mean,
too. Yeah.
like
He's the linchpin.
it's
I
a,
think he was the linchpin. Yeah.
I think it's 82 in the league. Uh, no, I'm not. I think it's 82 in the league.
Mhm.
Fucking hell, my head hurts. But yeah, no, just like how many, like if we'd had well, hey, I don't know, but again, there's no one else I thought, but he, without a doubt, created, even for the likes of Trent and Robbo, in terms of when he would drop deep and allow these boys to kind of move up. I think what he did was so complicated, that it'd be hard to see. But if you were to take him out of a team, say I don't put whoever, like,
Mhm.
yeah, 82 in the league. I tend to, yeah, but without a doubt, like the fact he spent 8 years and all of their best years were spent. When I say Mane and Salah, their best seasons were all with Bobby.
Mhm.
Since
Mhm.
Bobby, and I know
Mhm.
their the age and all that, but Bobby's still only 32. It's not like he's 30. Like
Yeah.
Bobby could still do it today
Yeah.
in the Premier
Yeah.
League.
Yeah. I think that Bobby could have. That's why I thought Bobby could have stayed on with us, even though I know that him moving
He
on
never,
to
yeah, he didn't
he.
want to.
Yeah,
He got
I
that
think he
big
didn't.
offer, man.
Yeah,
He
I
got that big
understand him
buck.
taking the big offer. I understand, creating some real. I mean, he already had financial security for himself from his contract with Liverpool, but
Of course.
that is generational security that he created by going on to Saudi Arabia.
But if
So
you put him in this team today, this squad, I think he's still a high performing. member
I
of
think
that
I
team.
think if anything, I really truly thought, and this is just my personal opinion again, I truly thought that if you put him as, I know it would require us going to a 4-2-3-1 or something on those lines where a 10 is incorporated. But if you were to have him as that 10 in this role, I think that would absolutely open up the entire offense for us, because now all of a sudden you have Bobby, for someone that has the ball dribbling ability of Bobby. You have, again, a phenomenal passer in Bobby as well, and someone that can add and at least assist in the press. I get it that he's getting older, or was getting older at the time. He would have been. It would have like, you weren't necessarily going to get him like being the front line of that press, but he can pressure the ball. He can get around to doing those kinds of that kind of uh, qualities or needs that the team needs for that. But I just think that, imagine having a Bobby Firmino looking up, being able to do his flair and facilitate to Nunez or Cody or Diego or Salah. Like, I just really thought that could have been a real difference maker for us. I think that could have been like the shot in the arm for us, basically, when we needed it. But
I suppose Jota might be the closest thing we have to someone like him. Again, I mean closest. I don't mean similar, but maybe
mhm.
he's probably yeah. If you we don't have we just don't have something. Look, nobody has what he does. But um, yeah, I think Klopp's best years, Salah's best years, man, his best years. This boy was there at his peak for all of it. Like, it was kind of the first. He was always the one that was going to be impossible to replace. A Mane can be replaced to a degree. A Salah, but a Bobby was the system. You know.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with that completely. And that's the I was just, as I was saying, the bonkers. We definitely could use a Bobby type player in our squad right now. We certainly could. Someone that is selfless, and someone that knows when to step up and get that big goal, or create that big assist, but also is selfless in the sense of, doesn't make a, hey, doesn't make a big stink, when it comes to doesn't make a big stink about when it comes to being subbed off, for instance. If I mean, he'll go to the bench when necessary, or he'll come off the bench when necessary. But whenever you need him, whatever his needs are asked for, yeah, he is that guy. It's kind of reason why, speaking of coming off the bench, that's my number 5 moment, was exactly that. Excuse me. It was the Liverpool's Champions League group game, 2018-2019, again at Anfield, against PSG. It was a game he didn't start. Sturridge started in front of him. We ended up. I think it was a two. I think it was 2-2. I want to say. I think it was 2-2. I have to double check, but I think it was 2-2 in that game, and
Desmond.
and Bobby came on as a sub. Came on for Sturridge, and, like, as always, like, as we were just speaking, Bobby had the last word of the day for that day. He absolutely just put Marquinhos on his, like, got him tripping over his feet, and he ended up dipping in and just fired home an incredible strike. He just, like, had a great shot, far corner, game over, let's move on type of thing, in that, for the group at least. And you'll probably remember that game, or at least that game, if by what I'm about to say, which was his celebration, which is probably the most notable of that game, which is the one where that's the one where he covered his eye because of the when he got his eye poked. And I think that might have been even the reason why he didn't get to play in that game, or at least start at least. But that was the old celebration of like the eye coverage. I think that one is a memorable moment for me at least. I think probably for yourself too.
Definitely, he was injured because there's no way he's not playing.
Yeah. I mean, Sturridge is not. It's not like Sturridge is like
No, but I mean he starts like.
But he starts.
Yeah.
Majority of the time he was starting. Yeah.
When you're like the best, that's one of my favorite things about him as well was
celebrations.
Celebration with the way he used to mimic the other people's celebrations. They like when Mane would score a goal, like he'd run behind him, and whatever Mane did, he'd do the same thing.
Yeah.
Or whatever Salah did, he'd do the same thing. And it's just the funniest shit ever, man. The guy's just so funny. He's just so infectious. Like he must have been the best to play with. He really must have been the best. Even sitting on the bench, whenever they cut to the bench, Firmino's on the bench, almost always laughing and joking with somebody. Almost always laughing and joking with somebody. The guy must be just the best teammate. Like
I always thought, what's funny about Bobby too is that Bobby would do that karate kick thing for his celebration sometimes.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes I'm just like, he probably, I don't know if he ever did take karate or not, but I always thought like sometimes you came so close to kicking the guys.
Yeah. Really, really close.
You come so close.
Yeah.
Oh man, that'll be the worst. I mean, like have him knock one of his.
Just totally like a De Jong on Xavi Alonso, an accidental De Jong on Xavi Alonso. Just full right in the middle of someone's like Jordan Henderson. Just bang. Oh, sorry, Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh well, the old three lions have kicked off there. So what's up? Where are we at now?
4? We're at 4. We're almost through. We're already through the list pretty much. We're I know that the Lions are playing right now, so I get it. If you are watching that game in the background, cool. We're at number 4. For this list. I'm open to your inclusion of your memories or something some memory of Bobby that you want to include in this too. Before you get totally enwrapped in the England game. Because number 4 for me was the Champions League game. It was basically February 2022. And it was a game that Bobby ended up winning it again. He broke open the tie for us. And it was a header once again from Andy Robertson. So Robbo gave a great pass to him. And then it basically opened I won't say the floodgates, but it opened the door for us pushing through in that game. Because it was the San Siro silencer, as some people have put it. It was a game that we really needed that year. The 2022, it was a game that really made a difference because it just signified Bobby's big game, moniker or veneer, I guess. In games. Yeah, he was. It's because right after
Can I quickly just ask Hyler put a question in the chat. Do you mean that's playing? Do you mean from all time, or do you mean it's playing right now? I'm just interested, and we can think about it. Are you mean like players, like Firmino that are playing right now, or just like from all time? Because obviously there's loads of them.
And when you mean like. And I guess by adding Ronaldinho, you must mean like to have that natural flair, like that samba style flair. I guess you're saying, because I definitely think that Ronaldinho is an incredible player. one of
I
the
assume he
greats.
means now. I kind of assume he means like, is there who's playing like that that's playing in today's football?
Mm-hmm.
Because
Mm-hmm.
obviously, if you could, there's been dozens of amazing flair players. So, but I would,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, at the moment, especially in the Premier League, you say someone like I say, just people loved watching Bobby Firmino.
Yeah, 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 yeah,
Just
yeah.
loved watching him. Yeah, there aren't many players that like what the old phrase that you'd pay to watch him. You'd
Yeah,
pay to watch him
yeah,
alone. That whole kind of thing. Oh, the fans used to go just to watch him play.
yeah,
This kind of idea. And I
yeah.
don't, again, because of the systems football that we have now. It's amazing that Bobby fitted so well into a system. He was like the ultimate cog in a system, but still managed to have that kind of flair about him and that bring that kind of joy to the game. That's what's unique about Bobby, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because he's like
Mm-hmm.
very much someone like Thomas Muller, kind of just this robotic kind of cog in a wheel, but Muller just
Mm,
is robotic.
mm,
Whereas Bobby did it, and he just brought all this Brazilian flair to the party as well. But what he
mm-hmm.
was doing was very system based. He wasn't like just a guy with a free role and going out and doing tricks and flicks. And he was very much, like I said, Bobby was the system.
Yeah.
He was
No, you're right.
performing a job, and a lot of that was pressing and that. So he managed to do that and still bring a flair and a joy to it was kind of remarkable, really. When
Yeah.
when you really think about like what the job he was doing to make it look like that, like and to have so much fun doing it. That's the
Yes.
thing about he always looked like he was having fun on the pitch. All these people going around sulking and all of this. Bobby's
Yes. That's a great point, Bob. That's a great point about Bobby. Yes. Yeah. Keep continue. That's a great point.
no, it's just yeah. You just see he's always the guy on the bench laughing. Someone he's always like the guy kind of poking someone or trying to just get someone to laugh.
Yeah,
It's just
that's the thing about it. Yeah, I think sometimes people underestimate the importance of having those kinds of players. Look, I mean, I get people don't like or make the jokes about Adrian and the likes, but there's a reason why Adrian is still or was is still being trying to be offered another contract, to stay with this club, because he definitely brings some semblance of of unity, some semblance of of a locker room presence that creates a calm amongst you. Creates the ability to just kind of like block out all the distractions and diversions of the outside world sometimes, and you're
especially with
able
a
to,
new manager coming in.
yeah, absolutely,
You keeping
absolutely,
those kind of the guys that bind the dressing room together, that
it's
know
important.
everybody, and yeah, the guys that've been there a while, they know everybody, and it's not like we're saying before anyone comes at me, yeah, we're not giving Adrian a contract just for vibes.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But these things are important, and
They're
the
important
right
though. There's
man.
all the same.
Someone's going to be the third choice goalkeeper.
Right,
It's
right.
not like we're inventing a job to keep him. Like if he leaves, we'll be replacing him with someone. So
Yeah,
if it's
yeah.
someone who's never going to play, you're better off having someone for one more year with Adrian, not 10-year deal. He's going just one more year.
Right.
That everybody knows, everybody likes, is good around the place. Because you got a new manager, a load of changes. So
Right.
I just like at this point, I'd like to minimize the amount of unnecessary changes
Right. Right.
because
To
it's a
kind of
lot of
like,
necessary
well,
ones.
it also helps too to have like that guy in the locker room or someone in the locker room that you can approach and or you don't even have to approach that guy that will be somewhat of that glue, you know, before so. Um, but we will come up with some idea of like for an answer for high lore, and I'll also bring up Mark's comment in 1 second. So I wanted to get to a top three. I think the third memory for me is one that I think most of us certainly appreciated once it really sunk in, and that was, and it was probably because despite the fact that the game was memorable in itself, 7-0 Manchester United game the 7-Up game, as a lot of us like to call it, at Anfield. And basically in that game, we were up 6-0 when Bobby got in. And it was kind of fitting because Bobby, it already been really assessed that, or established, I should say, that Bobby was not going to be, Bobby was going to be leaving the club at the end of the year. And it was kind of like a bittersweet style of like, oh, this is really it. This is Bobby's last dance with the club. Bobby's last opportunity with that. And I mentioned how he only scored 4 goals against Manchester United. 2 of them were the 2 goals I mentioned in the very beginning moment, of this list. For him to get into this game and score a kind of like a hat, hey, the 7th goal was kind of fitting, to be honest with you. I thought it was a kind of fitting, to send off for him in that, like, it was a great game to remember. And I thought it was even better because Bobby got to be a part of it, like it would have been weird if he wasn't a part of that game. Because by that time we Cody had his great goal, like, we already had a lot of the new guard in the sense that were really a part of that game, that were heavily involved in that game too. But it was fitting that he got his chance.
Yeah, definitely. He that was the other thing. It's like, I didn't say it earlier on. Like he was kind of like he was there. It's no surprise at all that he was there because he never got injured.
Yeah.
He was always fit. It's like, yeah, of course
Yeah.
he was available for his last game.
Yeah.
Probably could have played. The guy, obviously, he had his times out, but you talk about reliability. He was rock solid. He never really picked up little injuries that kept him out for any kind of time at all. He was so dependable. He must have, like you said, like played 256. I think it was.
It wasn't until that last year they started that, like, for that the some wear and tear started to show up a little bit, and that was probably
understandable.
more, which is understandable. I mean, like, for number two, I thought number two and number one. I know it's gonna be. This is why I was very interested to hear what you guys thought, because for my number 2 memory, it was the game against Flamengo in Qatar that we ended up becoming world champions. Okay, I get that there's one thing to be England. There's one thing to be England's champion. It's one thing to be Europe's champion. But in 2019 in the Club World Cup, we became world champions. And the goal that we got that made the difference, was from Bobby. I mean, it was an incredible, and again, another incredible game from Bobby. He was simply the man, as always. That's just what he does. Champions of everything is what Jurgen called us, right? And that's what we were as a result of Bobby having that stoppage time winner in the game against Monterrey, and then having the game against his home country's Flamengo and scoring once again in that game. He basically propelled us.
I think Bobby's a Fluminense guy as well.
That is, yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. Yeah. So it was It was definitely incredible to see that happen. And then finally, but last but not least,
I
I
love
have
that
my number one
competition.
memory. My number
Before
one
you
memory.
before you
Yes.
give your number one,
Yes. Do it.
I
Do it.
know I said last night that there would be no freebies, but I can't really work this into a proper quiz, so I will do a 3 question pop quiz on the Club World Cup before we
Oh,
finish.
cool. Okay.
On
Cool, cool.
on us in the well, don't anybody go looking stuff up now, but yeah, just
Quick research, quick homework
yeah,
session.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Um, I spoke on how like basically Manchester United was a team that Bobby scored only 4 times against. Wasn't exactly the team that he scored a lot of goals against. However, this team was a team that hated to see Bobby play against them, and that team is a team that I can't stand at all, as well, and that is the Gooners. My number one memory of Bobby has to be the Arsenal hat trick. It has to be the Arsenal hat trick.
Yeah.
Um, it was absolutely incredible game. Um, look, Bobby got to face against Arsenal 18 times. He scored 11 goals against them. Um, and I have a pop quiz for you. Um, Only 2 players have scored more goals in Premier League history than Bobby has against scored against the Gooners. Only 2 players. Can you name those 2 players
Wayne
Premier
Rooney
League
and Alan
history?
Shearer.
In Premier League history,
Wayne Rooney and Alan Shearer.
that's a good guess. Got one. Wayne Rooney's one.
Uh, Aguero.
Not Aguero either. That's a swing and a miss. Can anyone in the chat think of the 2 players? We already have Wayne Rooney as being one, but there's one other player that scored more goals than Bobby.
Frank Lampard.
No, no. I'm surprised you haven't guessed. Not Owen either. Nope.
Harry Kane.
There you go. There you go. Yeah. There you go. Not Ronaldo either. No. Harry Kane. Harry Kane and Wayne Rooney are only 2 players to ever score more goals against in Premier League history to have more goals against Arsenal so far, at least.
And
Um,
Bobby.
and Bobby, yeah, and then and obviously, well, who
B-man.
knows if Kane will add to that tally if he ever comes back to the Prem, but obviously Wayne Rooney's not adding to his tally.
Give me
So
1 second, sorry.
sure. So yeah, my number one moment though is that Arsenal moment. Look, that hat trick was absolutely iconic because it was it was the it was the sheer fact of Bobby basically sitting down half of the team for Arsenal in that game. That was easily one of the most enjoyable moments to watch. Um, the first one was a tap in, of course, but the second effort was like his second goal was just pure Bobby esque and just dazzling with the feet, and then just netting home the second goal, and then of course him being normally Mo Salah is our spot kick taker, but on this occurrence, having 2 goals already in his tally, um, he got the opportunity to score from the spot kick, and ended up being the five. We ended up winning that game 5-1. But man, oh man, was that a game for Bobby? I just wanted to. If there's some moments that I missed, I don't know if you guys thought that my moments were the moments that you would have put in your top 9 or not. I'm sure there are some other moments out there. If there are, definitely do share them in the chat. It'd be cool to see what moments that you guys had in your list of moments that our number 9 Bobby provided for us. But again, I just thought that was easily something that I used to that I put as my most memorable moment when it comes to Bobby. All of his celebrations are all up in there. Some of his celebrations are definitely goated in their own right. But yeah, that moment for me was a very, very incredible moment to say the least. Let me see what you guys have to say here. Mark says, watching Diaz, Diaz, exactly the same attribute. Okay. You know what, Bobby? I think that Bobby and Diaz have some similar attributes. I think Diaz, I don't know if you watched the game yesterday, but Diaz was a problem in that he had at times, if he had 2 guys marking him the entire game yesterday against their opponent in the Copa. He had 2 guys marking him, if not 3 at all times, because Diaz is an incredible dribbler in itself. He's quick with the feet, quick and nimble with the feet. But Bobby is unique in that he's not easy to bully off the ball either. He was able to keep his feet as well. But as you're saying right there, the same attributes as Bobby's: close control like no other. Doesn't score lots of goals, but scores some great goals with his head as well. I agree with that. I agree with that completely. There was a question, or there was something. Oh, Mark also had a question for us. It says Trent is being scapegoated predictably for London United, and how is Gomez not put on the left over Trippier? You know what? I definitely do. I'm not the conspiracy guy per se, but I can say that there is a little bit of an eyebrow raise when it comes to some of the selections that you've seen for England. I will admit that, Mark. And why Gomez isn't playing, I don't know. And
Sorry.
no problem. Why Gomez is not playing, I don't know. And why Trent's being scapegoated, I think is simply that's just what England likes to do, is just negatively put a negative light on the Scousers and Liverpool players in general when it comes to a lot of the fanfare, or a lot of the the section of the ills of what England has to take on. But all the same,
Well,
England's going to make it through. They're going to make it through to the next round. So, that is what it is. I'm
well, as
trying to
I
think of.
mentioned last
Yeah, go
night,
ahead.
like there's a there's a website called Football 365. It's been going since like the early 2000s. It's probably the first football website that I ever. It's the only one I visit. I still visit every day. Um,
Mhm.
they have a mailbox, which is basically people email in, and it's a bit of an institution there. The mail. It's not like
Mhm.
it's not. It's like a. You have to send it to the editor, and you get if she decides to put your mail in, you get in the mailbox. Um, and yeah, it's basically part of it's one of the biggest parts of the site, and it's an English site, so it's full of
Mhm.
England fans, and every summer every tournament starts, and I would say like no, it's an awful lot of hate for the England team in there, and I would say about 2% of it is for Trent. 98% of it is for Gareth Southgate. Like Trent
Yeah, I
gets
get
a
that.
side mention.
Mhm.
It's like it's like, oh yeah, and the Trent thing, whatever. But you've got people saying, oh, Trent is good, but like the scapegoat for England, if Trent is anyone's scapegoat, maybe Southgate's, I don't know, but it's 90% of the vitriol and the hate. It's like with your guy Berghalter. No,
Mhm.
it's they want the man out and they want him out. They don't care about anything else. That's what they want him gone, and everything else can come after that. They don't blame Trent for anything. They don't blame Harry Kane. They don't blame Phil Foden. They don't blame. They put it all on Southgate. So it doesn't really matter what he does or who he picks.
Right,
He could
right,
pick.
right.
It doesn't matter. Even if he wins this thing, they'll say it was only because of this and this and that. Because of the way he sets up the team, the way they play football. He's. I mean, English fans are. They're weird. They're toxic. A lot of them, but at the same time, I understand as well. Like you can't expect to win everything, but when you watch that England team, they really are. They're just awful. They're really
Mhm.
awful to watch. They're not a good team. They don't play good football, and it shouldn't be too hard to do what they do. And also, not like no one's saying you have to win every game 5-0, but at least play with a little bit of something. But
Hmm.
yeah, he was never going to know what to do with Trent, and he was never going to. I don't understand. I was amazed he did it in the first place that he started him.
I
So
think I I on the other hand, on the other hand, I wasn't amazed that he started him. Um, I wasn't amazed that he started him because I believe that Trent is a generational talent. I believe that Trent is an immensely incredible.
no, just no. Don't get me. I just not because of Trent. I mean, I can't believe Southgate actually had the balls to try it. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you.
It's got
Mhm.
nothing to do with Trent as a player. I just literally,
Well,
I
okay.
thought he was gonna, he
Mhm,
was just gonna go like jib it and go, oh look, we have a lot of players, yada yada
mhm,
yada,
mhm.
and just leave Trent on the bench. I really didn't think he would have the balls to play him in midfield in an international tournament. I
I got
really didn't, because he's
you. I got
such a
you.
kind of a
I
safety first type manager. You know,
mhm, mhm.
the idea of him doing anything kind of new or interesting, that's why I mean I was amazed that he actually tried it, especially at a tournament. He never did it before with him. But
Right. But he's starting Gallagher today. And
they've made a
um,
lot. They've made a fair few, I'd say, haven't they today? Gallagher
no,
was
pretty much the
shit when he
entire.
came on.
Oh, you meant him. I was gonna say, yeah, I was gonna say the lineup is pretty much the same lineup that he's had before, other than really pretty much
Gallagher,
Gallagher starting.
yeah,
Um,
that's
because
one thing.
Trippier,
Again, one England fan I was reading today said, if you don't, yeah, yada yada yada. If you don't like Trent, but can we please stop saying because watch the other game. Gallagher came on and Gallagher was awful.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Gallagher was terrible. It's
right. I just don't think
are
Gallagher what
are they still
for what
nil nil?
for what you
Yeah,
were
they are
trying to
nil.
get from Trent being in your midfield, having the passing abilities and everything and the likes of what he has. You're not going to get that out of Conor
Yeah,
Gallagher.
why would
A
this is
whole
what I'm
different, it's a
saying with the
whole
guy.
different skill set that you're getting out of Conor
Yeah,
Gallagher.
this is what I'm saying with Southgate. Like, okay, you tried the Trent thing. Okay, so that's not working. So you replace him with Gallagher. Like, if that's
Yeah.
what like it would do your head in as a fan. Like I said the other night, I think they have too many good players. I think they'd be
Mhm,
better if they had just two or three focal points
mhm,
like
mhm,
Bellingham and Kane and a Foden and someone else and a couple of good defenders, and they could pick a more focused team. I just don't think the manager knows how to get all these. Obviously, if you look at their medals and like we're speaking about these players,
mhm,
obviously world class players: Bellingham, Trent, Kane, Foden, Zaka.
mhm.
But you can't get these guys to perform that the way the English fans seem to think they should be performing. But
Yeah. it's I it's one of those things where hey, I mean I don't Declan Rice is a phenomenal player. Jude Bellingham is a phenomenal player, but yeah, I thought that you were going to get better results. Maybe if they had more time to gel, if they had more time to put themselves together as a club, that, or excuse me, as a team that has some familiarity with each other. When it comes to knowing their roles on the team, that'd be one thing. But again, it's Trent playing a position he hasn't played in a long time. And it's also a role that you have to feel comfortable with if you're going to like really excel in it, and feel comfortable with those that are your support levers as well. And I think that the last thing I want to do is I don't want to break Trent's will. I don't want to knock him into because Trent wants to win. Obviously, he wants to bring. He loves the fact of playing for England. He loves his teammates. He loves being there with them, and he wants to contribute the way that I believe he can contribute. I personally think that Trent should start over Kyle Walker, but I mean, then again, that's you could call it bias, but I think that for what you want, I would have started Trent on the right side, and I would have been just like Mark said. I would have started Gomez over Trippier, to tell you the truth. But that's just me. I would have looked for a better left back solution than Trippier, to be honest with you. He's already on the yellow card, by the way, too.
They brought Luke Shaw.
Yeah.
Guy's not even fit, and they brought him.
Yep. I was going to say, is he fully fit? I was going to say, he's not fully fit.
No, he hasn't played yet. He's injured.
Yeah.
And he brought him. Such a stupid thing to do.
Yep. But that's
England. That's their problem, not mine.
Yeah.
It's just fun to see the reaction a lot of the time. It's just very funny.
It's funny too.
Oh yeah, Diaz or Rafi.
If Barcelona get 90 million or 100 million or whatever they're looking at, I think it's going to be 90 to 100 million. They're trying to get from Saudi Arabia for Rafinha. Yeah, I can understand. Then Diaz, then they'll have the money to go in for Diaz. Look, if that's the case, guess what? The same way it happens to us. The same way it happens to us when people found out, oh, you can spend 100 some odd million for Caicedo, or you can spend this amount of money for this player, or you just got 142 million or whatever it was for Coutinho. Oh, okay. We'd like some of that. Yeah, please. That's the way I look at it for us. People might think of like, oh, that my initial valuation of 75 million. Hey, right? If it comes to Barcelona now want Bobby, okay, cool. Now it's 85 million or it's 80 million. We'll let you keep some of that change. We're not gonna take all of it, but we're gonna take most of it. We're definitely gonna take most of it. You want them badly. You think I honestly do think that Barcelona could use his talents, and they have to make some type of splash to go for. They have to make some type of splash in this market to kind of like stay with Real Madrid. I say, hey. Pay the piper. You're in disagreement with that?
I wouldn't be betting money on him wearing a Barca shirt next season. I really wouldn't.
Yeah.
I think it's a really difficult deal. Always never say never, but I'd back him. I'd probably have a fiver on him not being at Liverpool. But I don't know if I'd put the house on him being at Barcelona. I don't think they can pull it off.
Yeah.
I don't think they can.
That's interesting. I personally think that I would sooner see the deal going through for Barcelona, or Barcelona figuring out some way to make the deal work, considering that's his ideal destination. I don't think that he goes and says, okay, Barcelona is the dream team that I want to get to. I want to go there. I want to go there. And he doesn't get the, and he doesn't, he'll either get either or, I should say. He'll get a contract. He'll get a new contract with us in that he'll get a pay raise, and or he will end up moving on if Barcelona can spend the money. So I don't think there's no other team out there that I think makes him say, yes, that's the team. I don't think it's just about getting to Spain. I think it's about getting to a team that not only has Champions League football, but also is a team that is desirable to Lucho. I think that's the key. And I think that why would you settle, for I don't know, like an Atletico Bilbao or like or Mallorca or something like that. Like, why would you settle for a team like that? Not saying that those teams aren't good teams, but I'm just saying that why would you settle for those teams if that's not the team that you?
No chance he goes somewhere like that. They can't pay him.
Right.
He goes where he gets paid. At the end of the day, if PSG, if Atletico Madrid,
if Nico Williams goes, you don't see maybe like I was surprised. I looked at the
no, he won't. No, he can't join Athletic Bilbao.
Oh, because
he's not Basque. So
right,
yeah, no, but he's not joining. No, he's joining a Champions League club. If a Bayern or a PSG or Atletico Madrid or a Juventus came in and said, we're prepared to pay you 250, 80 grand a week, I think he would probably ask for parity from Liverpool.
Yeah.
If we were going to give it to him, maybe, but I think he would be happy to go to a big time Champions League club. Yeah, you can't say, oh well, I demand.
Is the only team. PSG is the only team I see. Like,
yeah, like if he's lucky to get to Barca, that's your dream, okay. But I mean, you got to be realistic as well. If it's not going to happen, I just think, like, I'm not saying, like, I think the most probable one is that he just signs a new deal with us. I think that's probably the most likely.
Yeah, that's what I think.
Second,
I think most likely is he gets a pay raise.
Yeah,
I don't know if they I don't know if necessarily know if they extend it any further. Like, I think it's just a pay raise. I think it's like this, or maybe some type of like work out with this salary to be some, more incentives thrown on there. Especially now that we have Champions League football. Personal performances, team performance type bonuses thrown in there. And then also he'll get a slight pay raise, maybe even double pay raise to be like in that 100,000 mark.
We're also leaving out the elephant in the room is that if he gets a mega offer from Saudi, who are we to say he won't take that? Like you're talking earlier on about generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
He's late. He is late to the game when it comes to earning the big bucks. Like, he's not even on, football big bucks yet. He's 27. He's on, what was he on, like 10 grand a week at Porto? Mm-hmm. So, yeah, rich guy, of course, but not like we're talking about the big money. So he's on Liverpool now. If he's talking about, I'm going to be 28 next birthday, or 27, I'm 27 at the moment, and you get one of those mega offers from Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, I mean, Saudi Arabia comes on and says, here's 120 million or 130 million or something like that for him. Yeah, that's a different story. Yeah, certainly.
I'm not saying like he won't take, I'm not saying he will take it or he won't. I'm just saying that would turn the guy's head at that age. Like I say, late to the game, earning the big money. Definitely his last big contract. You sign a contract at 27. That is your last big deal.
Yeah.
So that's got to be the right deal for you. So that's why I think this is very primed and timed for
Mm-hmm.
Lucho.
Mm-hmm.
A decision will be made. I think my top three, I would say number one, he stays. Number two, he goes somewhere that isn't Barcelona. Number three, he goes to Saudi. Number four, I know I said top three. Number four, he goes to Barcelona. I think they're the most unlikely because they just can't afford it. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the most likely is that we bump him to 200 grand a week,
Mm-hmm.
something like that. And
Mm-hmm.
and
I don't know
he,
if we go. I don't know if we'll go 200, but
but
I
at
just personally.
150 to two,
What?
something
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
that. But I think he'll ask for that. I think, well, look, they're locked into a deal, so they're not in a great negotiating place either. I think they need someone to come in a bid.
Right.
His agent will be really wanting someone to come in and bid for him because
Yeah.
then he can get Liverpool
Because
to the table.
then he has a little leverage. Yeah.
Yeah, he can get us sitting down. He can get us to because what has he got now? Like all he has to, like he walks up, he knocks on the door. Oh, hey, I'm Lucho's agent. I want to talk about his new contract. Well,
Mhm.
he's signed for 4 years, mate. See it.
Yeah.
You've got no, yeah, you've got no leverage. But if you, I've got a 90 million pound bid on the table for my player. Let's sit around the table and talk about this.
Right.
It's different then,
Right.
very different. So I think his agency, his dad, and all that, they will be praying for. Well, not praying, but wanting
I know what you
interest.
mean.
And like
Right.
someone said there earlier on, he's having a great tournament, a Copa. It seems like he's having a really good tournament. If he keeps
Yeah.
that up,
Yeah.
there will
I
be
think you
interest.
know why he's having a great tournament. It's just like what Mark said too. He says, I agree with that. Against Paraguay, he has. If you watch that game, because I know that I tuned
Are
in
they
for
good? By the way, are Paraguay
Paraguay
good?
is not that great of a
Right.
team.
Okay.
I
Right. Okay.
mean, look, Almiron is like one of their better players in their team. Put it that way. Actually, he got subbed out though. He did get subbed out in that game, but but it just shows you the type of level that they're at. I don't know. I'd have to look up what what their world ranking is, but I don't think it's that high. But um, but they're not like a
Like
terrible team.
they
It's,
used to be good when they had like Roque Santa Cruz and stuff, didn't they? But that
mhm.
was kind of a bit. Yeah. To me, I always imagined that like they're like one of the bottom teams in the Copa, one of the least sort of.
Yeah,
But I know sometimes you find out it's like, oh no, actually, Ecuador is like one of the best teams or something like that because I don't follow because I know some of them are like Venezuela,
yeah.
Ecuador. It's like you don't think they're that good, but actually they are really good or
No,
really
they're
highly ranked.
currently they are ranked 53rd in the world, so they're not exactly.
It's not terrible.
It's not
It's
terrible.
not terrible.
No, it's not terrible. Um, I know Colombia is ranked 12th in the world currently in the FIFA World Rankings. I know that's
Hmm.
you know that's
That's contentious, but it's a ranking.
yeah,
It is.
it's a ranking all the same. Yeah.
It's close enough
Um,
for what we need.
yeah, exactly. Um, and, and yeah, and what in that game though, in that game, Lucho was being double, if not triple teamed. It's like as in, and I don't mean with him on the ball, even with him without the ball. If like there was always two men marking him. There's always two men marking him on the pitch, no matter where he was on the pitch. Whether it was on the left, he would occasionally go central as well, you know. And there was two men that were basically shadowing him at every time. And then normally, even when he did get the ball, they would drop a third man in to actually press him. And there was early in the game, there was one moment where very Bobby-esque type moment. This reminded me at least is that he ended up getting double if not triple teamed. He dribbled his way out of it, showing a little bit of his cumbia flair. And yeah, it's one of those things where he didn't get an opportunity. He had, I think, maybe two shots on goal. I want to say I'd have to look up. Let me look up what his stats were. But like, he was he had one that he tried to just overpower. It went wide, and then he had another one that wasn't that great of an opportunity in the end. He kind of like forced it, but you could tell you could tell though that by him being the central like focal point for the defense for Paraguay's defense, it created channels and it created opening spots to open up for the other players. And
If you
Jaime,
open three
yeah,
man on someone, yeah.
yeah, exactly. Even on like it wasn't a set. The first goal wasn't off a set piece. The second goal was a set piece, but the first goal was just a good cross. Um, but both goals were portions where the first goal, for instance, I think Diaz was going to be the target. It just so happens that the Paraguay player ended up just basically bear hugging, like just trying to like rip Diaz and like pulled him down a little bit to take him out of the play. And by him doing that, and everyone having focus on Diaz, it opened up the space for the first goal to be scored for Colombia. And then the second goal was very similar in that um, everyone was focused on Diaz once again, and he was able to get a really good header on it. Got the back of his head. I forget the score. No, I think it was a fender for them or something like that. But he ended up scoring off of that. Great game though. Ended up being 2-1. They ended up pushing back and getting a goal, but I still think that I still have I have basically I know I said that my breakout players for this tournament were going to be I had Lucho being a breakout player. I get that Lucho is definitely a player that people know of. Obviously, he's one of the best players of his nation, if not the best player for his nation. But when I say breakout, I mean to have a have a performance that makes you really really announces yourself to the world stage for by having performances that people take note of. That's why I said that I think that Lucho is going to be that player. I put Nunez in that same category, and I have Balogun in that category. All three players, I'm sure that anyone could say I have biases for, since they're either Reds or U.S. men's national team players. But all three players have scored. Just saying. Or not scored. Not all three players. Those two players have scored. Lucho is it'll come. It'll come.
Oh yeah, no bias whatsoever. Of course,
No
two of
bias
Liverpool
whatsoever.
players and an American in a three-man list of entire South American continent. Yeah, no bias whatsoever. Not even a random fake mention for someone you don't actually rate, just to try and balance it out, like throw in an Endrick or something. No, no, just straight up reds all the way.
Yeah.
Red, white,
Hendrick's
and
gonna have
blue, and then
Hendrick's.
red,
You're
red.
right. Hendrick is going to have a great. He's going to have. You know what? He needs to. But do you think Hendrick's going to really get in? I don't know if Hendrick's really going to get
I
that
don't think he
much.
picks him, does he?
Yeah.
He didn't start in the. He came on in that 0-0 game.
Yeah.
If they, yeah, I don't. Yeah, that's a bad way to start. It's again, you don't want to put that kind of pressure on a kid, but if you're not winning or you're not playing well, and you've got someone like him on the bench, the temptation might be there to change it up and start him. I'm sure. I mean,
Yeah.
we think we're mad about football. We think we're nuts about football. I mean, go to Brazil. I mean, these people are off the charts. Like,
Oh,
if
absolutely.
if they have another bad game, the
Oh.
calls will be
Oh,
for
yeah.
this and that
It'll
and
get
this.
ugly quick. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like everyone, like they'll all want Hendrick to start
Yeah.
because, and if he comes
Yeah.
on and he's
They'll make it known. It's
if he comes into a game and makes a difference, it'll be really hard to drop him. Then
yeah. Yeah.
you know. So
You know what's funny? I will talk about Brazil, but I'm going to bring back because I know it's halftime in the England game.
yeah,
0-0 is the score in
nil
that
nil.
England game. Um,
Wow, what a shock!
yeah, I know. What a shock. Um, what I was going to say is what's interesting about uh, the Copa games, at least, was they had that game in Houston, okay, and they had a game in Houston, and you would have thought it was being played in Colombia because that
Mm.
entire stadium was basically yellow. Like it was a sea of yellow kits. That's just all you saw. You saw like maybe a white kit here or there for Paraguay, but it was, I would say, 95%, 98, 99% probably to Colombia. Like that, they represented. I, they represented down in Houston. I think almost the entire population of Colombians in in Texas showed up at that game probably because that was they represented well, very well. Um, Brazil represented as well. I mean, Brazil was representing very well too in that game. You had Costa Rica being, you had a lot of Costa Ricans there too, or you had a handful of Costa Ricans. But yeah, Brazil was representing. They got to play in Sophie, which is Sophie Stadium, which is in Los Angeles. So, um, of course, you had your Neymars popping up and being a part of the Brazilians in the crowd rooting on their team for a 0-0 draw. So now it's Costa Rica, excuse me. Colombia leads that group, um, and yeah, it's going to be very. I have Costa. I don't have. I have Colombia as my dark horse to win this tournament. So we'll see. We'll see.
Who's favorite? Argentina, I suppose. Is it?
Argentina, yeah, I think Argentina. Argentina, you have obviously Brazil being probably a close second. Uruguay, Uruguay is a good team. Um, I um, I think that I like Uruguay's chances. Suarez didn't get a chance, didn't score or didn't start in that game. He didn't get. I don't even think he got subbed in the game recently. But I would probably put it. It's going to sound crazy, but I would probably put my three picks to win this tournament would probably be I'll have Uruguay, Colombia, and then my third pick would most likely be I think Argentina would be probably my third pick. But yeah, that's probably my third pick for the Copa. That is. Do you have something different?
No, I just don't know who to. I mean, Argentina are world champions, so
Mm-hmm.
you'd assume that they're. But these things obviously don't go like that. Brazil don't
Yeah,
look great.
yeah.
Um, yeah, like I'd be betting blind on it almost. You know what I mean? Because I'm not sure about
Mm-hmm.
the groups and the rest, but you kind of have to edge towards Argentina. Yeah,
Well,
I'm
if
sure
like it ends up being
Colombia, Uruguay definitely all
mm,
have the personnel to win a tournament. You know, you don't need to win a league; you just need to win a tournament. International football is really about getting the best players that you can, putting them in a formation that suits them, and creating the best atmosphere amongst the camp to make everybody's on board and everybody's pulling in the same direction, and just let them go out there and play in a formation that gets the best out of them.
mhm.
So if you can get a good team with a good manager, with a good team spirit, like the Colombians and the Uruguayans, these boys always have, these South Americans, good team spirit. You can go
Hmm.
a long way. So I don't know enough about the Costa Ricas and the Bolivias and these kind of teams because the fact that it's in the USA as well, kind of a level. Nobody, it's not a home tournament for anyone really. It's not going to be Brazil aren't going to be playing in the final at the mark. It's not Argentina playing in Argentina. So it's kind of levels the playing field a little bit. So that might make a difference. Like you said, the whole place was like 90% Colombian. Like if they were playing Argentina, it wouldn't be like that maybe.
Hmm. Yeah, no, so we have our group being me saying we as in U.S. men's national team, but our group is a difficult group in that we have Uruguay in it as well. But all things depending, we could end up it. We end up facing against either Brazil or Colombia, I believe, in the next round in the knockout stages. So there's no real you know gimme or easy matches for us, which is unfortunate because um if we were it'd be one thing if we were able to face off against Canada or whoever ends up in second place in Argentina's group, or even if we were able to end up facing off against whoever ends up second in Group B, which is Ecuador, Jamaica, Venezuela, and Mexico. That group's probably like the weakest group of all the groups.
Yeah, it doesn't sound great. Well, you
And
never know. Like you kind of like you look at Brazil, like they could have a shocker of a tournament and not qualify, and you could end up playing whoever qualifies in their place.
right, yeah,
They would. So
they'll get through the group. I think they'll get through the group. Brazil will get through the group. Their group is Colombia, Costa Rica, Paraguay, and then Brazil. They're better than Paraguay. They're obviously I know they got the draw against Costa Rica, but Costa Rica's no pushover, by the way. They're no pushover. I know a lot of
clearly not.
people often look at CONCACAF and just look past the teams of CONCACAF. But Costa Rica is a team that has made it to the World Cup before,
Oh, they've had great World Cups.
Yeah.
No, Costa Rica's a strong, yeah, strong side, yeah, a strong area. For football, they've always, not always, but they've had good showings. Yeah,
Yeah.
in the World Cup, they definitely are.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah,
it's
so a bad result against, let's just say Paraguay, somehow get a draw against Brazil, and then Brazil are going to have to beat, or if they don't play them first, like if Colombia beat Brazil, Brazil could be in a bit of, it could get tasty. You never know, it could get something
yeah,
like
yeah.
there's always one team that gets sent home that you're not expecting, but you'd
No,
imagine
I get
Brazil should have far too
yeah.
much, but
Yeah, and there's also, who do you have making it real quick because we're gonna land the plane here. I know our Bobby sensation, um, our trip down Bobby Lane is sadly coming to an end here, but also our talks about Copa. I guess let's give a quick shot for the Euros. Who do you have getting through to the next round
from the Euros,
from Euros? Yes.
in all the groups or in, I mean, most of them are kind of settled now at this stage. I think I don't know what's in the balance. Which ones like Romania could get through? Like you were talking about that Turkey group is probably the most interesting one because they're all on the same amount of points. I think Belgium, Ukraine, Turkey, and Romania. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the only one. I'd like to see. I don't know. It'd be great. Well, look, it'd be great to see Ukraine get through. Romania as well. They put in with great show in the first game, 4-0 or 4-1 was it? But they scored four anyway. Who? It's more like who might get knocked out, who might go home. No one really big. Yeah, it's all kind of landed where you'd expect it to land. Really,
Mhm.
no shocks yet. But we'll see. It's more about when the knockout draws come in, and you see like Austria looked very impressive today. Switzerland looked impressive in patches. So I think it's pretty much most of the favourites. It's only the Netherlands really ended up in that spot. But you've got games tomorrow. Portugal are playing, Belgium are playing. Uh, but I expect England to get knocked out pretty much by the
Mm.
quarter final. I think by the looks they can meet France if France progress in the semi. They won't get much further than that. So
Mm.
yeah, it's all kind of landing where you'd expect it to.
Yeah.
Nobody's really stood out to me. But if you want to quickly, I can do you a
Yes.
pop quiz, a
Yes.
Club
Let's do
World
this
Cup
pop quiz. Let's do
pop
this pop
quiz.
quiz. Sure.
Okay, well, as we're talking about the Club World Cup earlier on, um, as you everyone will remember, we won the Champions League in 2005. So we played in the 2005 Club World Cup uh,
Mhm.
in Yokohama. So question one: which team beat us in the final of the 2005 Club World Cup?
Um,
Okay, I'll make it. Which Brazilian team
yeah.
beat us
It was
in the
probably.
final?
I think it's Flamengo. No, wait. Was it Flamengo? I think so.
Are you going to go with Flamengo?
Yeah. I'm gonna go Flamengo.
Just see if anyone in the chat remembers 2005 Club World Cup in Yokohama. Which Brazilian team beat us in the final is the question. Anyone in the chat want to put in their guesses?
Yeah, Sao Paulo. That's a good guess too.
We'll give it time on that. Yeah, and Norman, as usual, spot on.
That's
Sao
correct.
Paulo.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Sao Paulo, but I didn't
Okay, so
because I think Flamengo's played in the finals. They've gone to the World Cup
recently,
a couple of times.
oh yeah, the Brazilians. But that was actually the first time Sao Paulo won. They're probably their only. But anyway, okay. Which Liverpool player was joint top scorer in the tournament on 2 goals? There was Amoroso at Sao Paulo, Mohamed Noor at Al Ittihad, Alvaro Saborio, and one Liverpool player, all tied on 2 goals, top goal scorer in the 2005 Club World Cup.
Uh, hmm. I see Norm's answer, but I would have probably said James Milner, but
In the
uh
2005,
2000.
2005.
2005. My bad. My bad. My bad. Yeah, I'll go. I see his answer. I can't be. I can't give an honest answer now because I saw his answer come up.
Yeah,
Peter Crouch.
yeah, 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 correct. Correct.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay,
I'd have to take the. It was in my
I
peripheral.
know. I know when Norm comes in, kind of.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so we obviously entered at the semi-final stage in that competition. There was previous rounds for other teams, but we entered into the competition semi-final round, and in the semi-final we beat Saprissa Okay, to go and meet Sao Paulo in the final. So
Mhm.
which country are Saprissa from? The team we beat in the semi-final Club World Cup was Saprissa. Which country are they from?
Um, I want to say they're from from a Middle Eastern team club. So,
S
I'll
A
go with
P R I S S A. No funny little accents or anything like that. Just straight up
Saprissa.
Saprissa.
I'll go with
Oh, chat's gone quiet all of a sudden. Chat's
yeah,
gone quiet all of a sudden.
Saprissa. Um, I don't know. That's a good question. I'll go with no, it's not gonna be Kuwait or something like that. I thought it was a Middle Eastern team, but mm,
Club World Cup.
I don't know. I'm thinking. Um, listen.
Okay, I'll make it easier for you. Which CONCACAF nation do they do they come from?
Oh, okay. Saprissa. That is a little bit easier than I wasn't even in the right hemisphere, so that's one thing. Saprissa. Costa Rica.
Yeah, see, you were going to
Costa
kick
Rica.
yourself. Yeah, you were going to kick yourself if you didn't get that because you've been talking about Costa Rica for 5 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Costa
Norm
Rica.
saying Rican. For to be honest with you, I thought Norm was saying Puerto Rico. So I'm glad I
Yeah,
didn't guess Puerto Rico with Norm.
Costa Rica.
He's probably saying Costa Rica too, but
Yeah, Rican. You said.
Saprissa,
Yeah,
Costa Rica.
we're going to have to
That's
put
well, you
a.
said CONCACAF though, because there's not many.
Yeah,
There's not many nations in CONCACAF that I could see making it that far. Costa Rica does have a decent. Um, they have a relatively decent league.
well, like you said, they're a strong team and have been for a long time. And they're a
Yeah.
stable. Costa Rica. The most important thing in this is yeah, Costa Rica. It's in Concacaf. It's a stable country.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
like it's never been like war torn Central American narco. It's just
Hmm.
stable enough country. So they've been able to run professional leagues for a long time, and they've sent a lot of players abroad. Like there are some great players that are well, great, but some good
Yeah.
players that have come.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. They've had
uh,
some really good players that.
okay, a bonus question. Okay, which goalkeeper won Player of the Tournament for that club World Cup?
For that year.
Yeah. Which goalkeeper?
Um,
He's a famous goalkeeper. He's a famous
I was
goalkeeper.
gonna say, yeah, I actually should have guessed that too. What's his name? Played for PSG, right? Um, what's his name? I don't even think he's on the team this year.
No. In the Club
Uh,
World Cup in 2005. In 2005, which goalkeeper
Never.
won?
Oh, I would have. Okay. I would have said.
I was
I
saying
thought it was Keylor
bonus
Navas,
question for
but
the no.
no,
Well,
was
you're
it?
right, Norm. It
Who
it,
was?
it is it is it was the Sao Paulo keeper, but
Oh,
I
for the
can't remember
2000.
his name.
For the
Yeah,
keeper. I have
it's a
no idea who
bonus
was
question.
the keeper for Sao Paulo. Keeper.
famous
I
famous
thought I was
goalkeeper.
thinking Costa Rica,
No,
maybe.
he's a famous goalkeeper. Famous goalkeeper. You can guess it. You'll know it when you hear it. A famous Brazilian goalkeeper. Famous for you know being like deadly at stuff, not just being a goalkeeper.
Whoa, what? What?
No, like he
Not for
scored
just
loads of
I
goals.
mean, deadly from not.
No, he scored
Oh,
a
okay.
hundred. He scored 103 goals for Sao Paulo. He's
Yeah.
a goalkeeper, but he scored 103 goals for Sao Paulo. Everyone remembers him. Everyone knows him.
Is it our is he our goalkeeper coach by chance?
Nope. The question, Bernie,
No.
is which goalkeeper won the player of the tournament at that
I thought maybe you're trying
2005
to
Club
connect it
World
like
Cup?
that. I'm
So he
stumped.
was the Sao Paulo keeper, and he
I'm
scored
stumped.
103 goals as a goalkeeper.
I'll let the chat try give a shot at it. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to step over you. You can repeat their question because Bernie missed it. She wanted to take a stab at it.
Cyprus. Bernie's got some serious typos going on. I'm going to let her autocorrect. Yeah. I think Bernie might know it, but it's her phone has auto-corrected it to Cyprus. I'm gonna guess that she does know it.
Oh, is it relatively close? Is her answer even relatively close?
Oh, I don't know. I think she's misunderstood the question. Which goalkeeper was the player of the tournament in the 2005 Club World Cup, which Liverpool lost the final of? So the Sao Paulo goalkeeper won player of the tournament at the 2005 World Cup, Club World Cup.
Mm-hmm.
So who was that goalkeeper? And he scored 103 goals for Sao Paulo. 103 goals as a goalkeeper. Okay, Rogerio Ceni. It was Ceni. Rogerio Ceni. Ceni. He used to take free kicks and he took penalties, but he was famous for scoring free. But yeah, he took free kicks and penalties for Sao Paulo. 103 goals as a goalkeeper. That's just crazy.
Wow. Wow. That is incredible. Yeah. I here's one for you. Just looked it up. Let's see. Two goalkeepers have won the Golden Ball in that tournament that you talked of. You just mentioned one. Can you name the other?
What year did he win it? Give us
2012.
something.
2012. 2012 is the year.
Uh,
So 2005, Seni won. 2012, who won?
Who won the Champions League in 2012? And who? Yeah. No, I'm not even sure who was in the
Not
tournament.
sure either.
2012. 2012. Who won the bloody Champions League in 2012? Well, Norm is saying Czech,
Yeah,
so I'll go with
check.
Norm.
Yeah. No, it was Cassio of Corinthians.
Oh, well, yeah, I was never getting that.
Get that one.
You could
How
have told
about?
me it was the Corinthians keeper, and I still wouldn't have been able to tell you who
Oh,
was the
okay.
Corinthians keeper in
Well,
2012.
I'll give you a follow up then, a quick follow up. Who is the only player to have won the Golden Ball but not lifted the trophy in that tournament in the FIFA Club World Cup? Who is the only player to win the Golden Ball but not lift the trophy?
The year again, maybe.
2006. Played. You need a team. I'll give you the team if you need it. If you need one more hint, I can give you the team.
Yeah. Give me the for a half a point
Okay.
less.
So this is for just here, so the chat can know the question too. This player is the only player to have won the Golden Ball, but not win the trophy. Not have won the trophy. The team was Barcelona. That's right. Norm. And the player for Barcelona is
David
who's
Villa.
that? Who?
David Villa.
No. That's a good guess though.
Pedro.
That was a good guess. Not Pedro either.
Oh, okay. I'm out then. I don't know.
Out. You're out. Norm, you
Yeah.
want to take it? Norm or Bernie, you want to take a shot at this one? 2006 final, Barcelona. He is the only player to lift the golden ball, but not win the title. No. It's random missed by Puyo. For Puyo, too. Yeah, nope. That's a good guess, too. Very
Wait,
good guess.
2006 or 2002?
2006.
Oh, 2006.
Yeah. Yeah.
Played for Barca and didn't play for Barca in 2006. Barcelona weren't there in 2006. They didn't win the Champions League in 2006.
I know they didn't win it. That's why I said he's the only player to win the golden ball.
But they wouldn't have been in the Club World Cup. Barcelona weren't there in 06.
This,
in the Club
according to
World Cup.
FIFA, I'll just give you the answer then. According to FIFA, Deca is the only player to have won the golden ball and not lifted the trophy. The Barcelona midfielder.
Deco.
Yes, the Barcelona midfielder played in a 1-0 defeat by Internacional or Juventus in the 2006 final.
For Juventus?
Internacional is Juventus, right?
No, Inter. What do you mean? Hang on. With your Internacional is a
no, Internacional. I'll put it
that's the Brazilian team. That's
yes,
the Brazilian team.
The Brazilian team.
So hang on, we've gone from Juve to.
I'm just reading what the thing is. I'm not making it up. This is according to FIFA.
I know it, but no, it's you said 2006.
2006, yes. You're right about it being Brazilian team because that is a Brazilian version of the word.
No, that's Internacional, the Brazilian. Yeah, it's the club.
Yeah.
Confused me a lot here.
FIFA Club World Cup. This is off of FIFA's website. I wouldn't be surprised if I might have been the person. Maybe it's because I might have been the person that put that stat in there, but it's all good.
Yeah, that's different. That's not the Club World Cup. That's the FIFA.
FIFA Club World Cup. Yes, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's not the club. Yeah, that's different. That's a different competition. Oh, now I understand. Okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, I get it. Yeah. I got my competitions and years mixed up because it's in the year. Because it's like it's like if you win it, it's in the year that you win it. It's not like say when you win the league, it's the following season that you play in the Charity Shield. It's because it's in December. It's always I always forget it's in the same fucking year that you win the tournament because they do it in December. But that's
I don't know why, but that's the thing about it is in that same blurb it talks about the two goalkeepers. Two goalkeepers have won the golden ball. Sao Paulo's Roger Senna, as you just mentioned, in 2005.
Senni.
Okay, Roger Senni in 2005, and Cassio in Corinthians in 2012. So I don't know why it would be a different tournament. That's weird.
Yeah, they just change it from FIFA. Yeah, they just renaming stuff as usual, making it confusing. It's still 0-0 in England or in wherever they're playing it, Frankfurt or something, Slovenia. God,
still
an hour of football. Yeah, could England be the first team to serve up a 0-0 in the tournament? They probably could.
They possibly could. I wouldn't put it past them. Yes, that is right, Norm. You are correct. With Barca beating Arsenal.
Yeah, 1-0. Poor old Arsenal, eh? Poor. They've never been back
Yeah.
since.
No
Never been back since.
European glory. No
No.
European glory.
Well, at least they got to, sample it once what it's like to
Yeah.
be in a European Cup final.
Yeah. That is true. That is true. Jeez. You know how many times? Do you know that Cristiano Ronaldo has won the FIFA Club World Cup 4 times? That is crazy. I did not know he won that times.
Yeah, Belletti scored the winner, no. Belletti from right back came up and scored the
Oh, in that
winner.
game.
Yeah, the Barca game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did. Campbell, big header, and Belletti broke their hearts. Typical Arsenal goal or Barcelona goal, which kind of with Belletti kind of becoming an overload on right back, which kind of foreshadowed a lot of what their best stuff, which a lot of their tactic, that overload tilt switch thing that they used to do, that would free up Dani Alves on the right, coming in out of nowhere to score goals, and they just got so many goals doing that. Like, they have all these star players on the pitch, and it's the right back that scores the goal that wins the game. Because
Mm-hmm.
that was just the way the whole team was set up to work. Um, and that was Pep football. The last guy on the pitch getting the last touch in a 22-man move kind of thing and just tapping it in. You know, like I said, that's it for Arsenal.
You're right. Yeah, I'm looking at this tournament. You know what's funny about it is in that 2005 they give away a gold, a silver, and a bronze ball for like the as an award, right? And as you
Oh
said,
yeah, yeah. It's not a joke at all. It's a 2-game tournament for the player of the tournament finish. Yeah, it's totally serious. It's crazy, man.
do you know who won the silver ball in that tournament?
In
2005?
in our in our one, silver ball.
2005, who won the silver ball?
Hmm.
That was the one that yeah, that was the one that Senna won the golden ball.
Senny.
Senny.
Yeah, Senna is the racing driver.
I didn't say Senna, but I said Senny. But all right, Senny.
You did say so. Okay. No, I heard Senna. I heard Senna. Yeah. I couldn't. Was it one of our players?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, did it? Was it one of our players?
Are you
No.
asking, or you want me to tell you?
Well, no. Was it one of our? Was it a Liverpool player? They got the silver. No.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, it was. It was one of
yeah.
our players. Okay.
I'm surprised Norm hasn't gotten this one already. To be honest with you, or even Bernie.
Well, Crouch got the 2 goals. So was it Crouch?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. Did they give it Gerrard?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, they gave it Gerrard. Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Stevie G. I was surprised to see. I didn't even know they gave away. Just like you said, it's kind of crazy that they would. That it's like it's a short tournament as is,
I'm,
and you're
I'm
giving
sure
away.
he treasures that silver ball to this day. Every night he polishes that silver ball. He points it out to the grandkids. You
Yeah,
see that? Yeah.
I know
Forget
that's
you.
funny.
Forget the Champions League medal. That's my silver ball from. Yeah.
Yeah, it is. That's just funny. I didn't. Yeah, you do, but it's like it's an actual trophy though. It's not like it's like a silver ball that's on like a mounted little.
Cool.
It's a big trophy. It's a
Cool.
actually big trophy too. It's not as big as whatever is like the key thing that they give you. Ever see the let me show you
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Yeah.
What is that thing? What is that? The Toyota? Like do they get like a car or something like that too? Did they win a car as well? Do you know?
I mean, even if they did, it'd be a Toyota.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, okay, maybe like some like ultra top of the range kind of sports type Toyota, but
Can you see that? Can you see
yeah,
it?
yeah, I don't know what the hell that's all about. I really,
That's what
I don't like. Yeah, I don't know why that key is so big.
I know. The key is bigger than one. That key is bigger than the freaking golden ball, or the silver ball.
Yeah, like it is a toy. Anyone's ever owned a Toyota in the 80s or 90s will recognize that key shape. That is a Toyota key from back in the
Right.
day when there was. But yeah, it's he definitely. I got yeah, he definitely won a Lexus or something. Yeah,
Oh wow.
you know, I mean, and he just probably told him to give it to somebody. He's messy. What do you want with a Toyota? You know, you're not going to take a Previa, the kids to school. You know, it's nice and all that. That's a bizarre. Yeah, that's a bizarre award.
Yeah.
That'll turn up on eBay
Um,
someday.
it probably will. It probably will. I saw that and I'm like, wow, that's a big key. But
Yeah, Messi's giant gold key.
yeah. Do you know who won the golden ball in that 2019 for us?
Could be any one of. Uh, Mane.
Ooh. As I'm not gonna say yes or no, but if the chat wants to give a guess too, I'll let you guys get a guess on that one. 2019, who won the golden ball? And I did say for us, so obviously it was for Liverpool.
Still 0-0 in England.
Yes,
Bloody hell.
Norm. Yes, Norm. It was
Yeah,
it
see, it
was
was
South.
either one. It was one of them. It was one of them.
South.
It was one from three. It was either
Yeah,
Bobby, Salah, or Mane. It was always going to be one of them.
yeah,
I thought Salah was too obvious. As always, I fall into the trap of not going for something because I think it's too obvious when it's the right answer.
yeah. I know what you mean. Like you want to go with your gut, and you're like, no, it can't be. It can't be
Yeah.
that easy. It can't be that easy.
Mm.
But those are some good questions. I did not know the Senny goal. Excuse me, the Senny winning the golden ball.
Yeah, he played 882 games for Sao Paulo.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like that's just a goalkeeper that scores 100 goals and plays almost 900 games for one club.
Mm.
That's someone you'd want to. That's someone you'd love to see an interview with, or what, he's going to have some stories. That's just crazy. That's a crazy career.
That is crazy. Could you name the player who's? There's only one player that's won the golden ball twice. Can you name the player?
Neymar.
No. That's a good guess though. That's a really good guess. That's a really good guess. I'll let the say
Ronaldo. Ronaldo.
Yeah, if you've gone
Portuguese.
for his counterpart, nope, not Stevie either. Yep, Norm got it. Messi's the
Messi.
only player to have won 2 golden balls in this tournament. We've just learned more about the FIFA World Cup
Yeah.
than FIFA Club World Cup than I think I've ever really
Like, who wants
known.
to watch England draw 0-0 with Slovenia when you can be doing this?
Yeah, tell me about it. When you can listen to how many golden and silver and bronze ball. Pause, I guess you could say, on that one. But big up, Cedric. Big up. Travel home safely. We're going to let everyone enjoy the rest of this action-packed game of England pursuing a some type of route to the knockout stage as they take on Slovenia. Enjoy. I'm
The
sure
mighty Slovenia.
The mighty Slovenia. Yes, exactly. We're gonna be back tomorrow. We'll put together a nice little something for you guys tomorrow as well. We will be having a we just gotta pick the date. I don't know if we'll pick it out. We'll pick it in the backstage, but we have the Razzies coming up too, by the way. So that should be a fun little award show for us to partake in. And we also are still working on the football manager adventure that
I
Irish
bought
fan
it.
wants to do.
I bought it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, cool.
Well, no, I didn't get it. I bought it.
Okay, that's cool. I know
I
you were
had to
saying
go
you were
on
in
eBay. No, I
yeah.
had to go on eBay. I wanted to buy a hard copy, and so I went on eBay, and I can't really kind of. So it's 0102, which is kind of like. Anyway, that's like the one everyone wants. It's fucking expensive, actually. But yeah, I want it anyway. But it was nearly like $100 to get the whole thing. Like,
Get
anyway,
out.
yeah.
Wait.
But
It's $100 for that video game?
For one, well, it's 60 to get like there's different ones out there. There's ones, but I wanted a kind of the one that I knew was like kind of a better one. So with that plus about 25 in postage and tax, yeah.
Wow.
So it's a hard game to get. There's 3 of them online out for auction at the moment. I didn't want to get involved in that, so I bought like the
No.
best quality one. So we should be able to get that up and running soon. But
Yeah.
lots of people have thrown that game away. Now looking on eBay, going, oh, there's some guy in there's a Japanese version which has all the Japanese players. Like everyone remembers, I play Football Manager, but it's Championship Manager, 0102. Before that's the iconic game, and then it becomes Football Manager, which is basically the same company, and then Championship Manager actually gets taken over by someone else.
Sega.
Shit.
It's Sega, right?
Yeah, they ruined it. And the guys who made Championship Manager, they're the guys who went and made Football Manager. So that's Eidos. But yeah, there's a Japanese one for 250 online at the moment, just because it's a Japanese version.
I'm still interested to see how it's going to unfold.
We're building a team. We're building a team for the future. We're gonna
there you go.
We're gonna be dealing with Peak Owen, or we're going to be dealing with Kavarmas, and it's going to bring. I think our audience is on the let's just say has slightly longer memory side, so I don't think it'll be too much of a stretch. But hey, it'll be fun.
Yeah, I'd like to. I was trying to look up Norm's 1984.
Yeah, you got to send that in, man. You got to send that in.
You got to send that in.
On Twitter.
I don't think I have. I can't find it on Google here. I don't see anything.
If you have Twitter, just 12 Man has Twitter. Just send it to him on Twitter. You can put it up.
Yeah, send it to me on Twitter if you can. Yeah, that was 1984. Nice. Here, there's a.
That was Rome. That was the Rome.
Yeah, here I can show you. That was the apparently one of the flyer or one of the
just shut up, Norman. Shut up. Sorry. 96.7 on the Mega Drive.
On the Mega Drive.
Wow. Oh man, I'm a Mega because when you grow up, you're either Sega.
It's a little nerd talk here, I guess.
Yeah, no, you're either Sega or Nintendo when you're growing up. I was Sega all the way. I had like my first proper console. Well, I had a Spectrum 48K before that, the computer, but yeah,
Okay.
the Mega Drive. I can't believe you got Premier Manager on the Mega Drive. Oh man, like, cause all the kids are, people that like you can buy all those games and kind of like play them on your PC now.
Sure.
Like you can buy all that stuff and you can download, you can play it on whatever device you have now. But to actually have it on the old system that still works, you click it. Remember Mega Drives? You push the cartridge in. Like now, you have to physically take it out. Oh man, yeah, that's taking me back. That's crazy, man. That is crazy. 96, 97. But get it out tonight, Norm. Fire up the season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We were in all yellow kit. 90. Yeah, Toyota
Yeah.
Cup. Toyota Cup, European South American. That's class.
Yeah.
That's
This is
absolutely
a
class.
yeah.
Who is that actually? That's not Ian Rush. I thought I wasn't looking. That's not Ian
I think
Rush.
it's Graham. Isn't that Graham?
Who is that? I don't
I
know.
think
Is that?
I think it's Graham Souness, right?
I'm not sure, man.
I think
I
it
don't.
is. I wish I had a better. Let me see if I can find a better, a better version of it, a clearer
Like,
version of it. I
yeah,
think
it
that's
doesn't
Graham
look like
Souness.
anyone I recognize. So it might. Obviously, it's like a really bad out of focus picture, but it just looks like a generic footballer from the '80s with a
No, no,
mustache.
yeah, no. I think it is wrong. No, I think it's Graham Souness. This is the 1984 Club World Cup Toyota Cup Liverpool versus Independente football program. The
It is
program is
Rush.
90 pages.
Okay. It is
Is it
Rush.
Rush? Okay,
Norm is saying it is Rush. Okay.
that's cool.
Wow, he just looks like
Yeah.
almost like a Photoshop kind of generic thing, but yeah, it doesn't, Bernie. It looks like a cross between two. It's just like, who is that guy? I've never seen him before. It was my first thought when
Yeah.
I saw that.
If you want this, this is where they are selling this. If you want it,
Yeah.
Norm, if you have this, you could get a pretty penny for it. Apparently, they are selling this on this website, this collector website. They're selling it for £385.
Oh,
Nice.
wow.
It's a little bit of change there. If you he
And
has it. Yeah.
of course,
You got about you could probably get a cool 400 or something for it, depending on what condition it's in.
yeah.
That's crazy.
As Lee, wasn't it? Lee was on the other night. Lee is only one of many, 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 many people who moved out as a kid or came back a year or whatever, moved house or they went to university, they come back and they say to their mom, "Where's that bag full of programs?" "Oh, that old crap, I threw it out." Lee
Mm-hmm,
was on the other
mm-hmm,
night telling us about like he had like hundreds of like programs going all the way back, and they moved house and they got thrown out. There's people
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
all over with those kind of stories, and they look at these things now, and they're like, "I had that." Oh, now I can see it. Now it's clearly
Now you
Ian
can see it
Rush. Yeah,
better. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, you can make it out now. Easy, a lot easier.
yeah, yeah, yeah. What
Who
jersey?
is that player? Who's the player? Who is that player that's on the other side of him though? That's a good question.
Mm. Independiente, obviously.
Yeah.
No,
No, you're not getting it. I don't. I have no idea.
no idea. No.
Wow. Yeah, that's something that you can pass on to your kids or
Uh,
to a cousin or nephew, something like that. That
is that Zico?
yeah.
Is it really Zico?
Is it?
Doesn't look like Zico. Norm is saying it's Zico. Is it, well, he has the. Doesn't look like Zico. But again, like it didn't look like Ian Rush earlier on.
Yeah, yeah. I was gonna say, probably didn't.
Because he really looks like someone, but I know it's not him because he wasn't playing for Independiente. I mean, and he's too young, but yeah, I can't really. Again, it just looks like kind of a comic book
Right,
kind of,
right.
It
Let me
doesn't
see
have
if I
the
can
all in
see who it
Japanese.
is.
No
Yeah, yeah.
sponsors.
I'm about to say that does not help
Yeah,
one little
yeah.
bit.
No sponsors on the jersey.
Um, nope, nope. At least not for them. Not for them. Let's see if I can find it. Um, let's see. Let's see. Let's see. Da, 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 da. Um, Zico? Is it Zico? Let's see.
Still nil nil
I don't know. It's still
at
nil
the
nil.
Fun
I know.
Factory.
um, Pedro, Enzo, Carlos. I don't know if that is Zico, to be honest with you.
He just doesn't. He doesn't look Brazilian to me. He looks Uruguayan or something. Or I don't
I
know.
think that's Ricardo Omar.
Okay.
Ricardo Omar. I'll show you why I think it's him because it looks like him. I could be wrong, but it looks like this. It looks like this guy right here. I'll show you again. It's kind of tough to make out. I'm taking a guess, and it's all in Japanese, like you said, except for just the little part. Uh,
Yeah.
Goose.
How have they like
Oh, Ricardo Omar Gusti. Gusti.
that
Ricardo
much?
Omar
There
Gusti.
was a likeness.
Yeah, I can show you the likeness once one more time before we bounce. Yeah, like I'm gonna leave in like 2-3 minutes here, but yeah, I'll bring it. I'll make it larger. Oh, you're not gonna make it larger. It's just gonna be larger.
I think that's
It's close enough. Close enough. I think it's
yeah.
this guy right here. I think it is. I think that looks like him.
Like I don't even need
And
to like the guy bottom left. I don't even need to know. He lives in the Andes. That guy is like that guy can exist at 20,000 feet. He is some Bolivian, Peruvian type shit going on there. Definitely.
yeah, yeah, you can say that for sure. Um, yeah, Ricardo Omar Gusti. Let's see.
All you have to do is Google image search his name, and if that program comes up, then you know you're in business. Trent
Yeah, I'm
is
looking
on the
for it.
pitch. Trent is on the pitch.
What are you gonna say when he scores the winner?
What
What
have
are you
they
gonna
given
say?
him? 4, 84, 5, 6, 7 minutes maybe.
Yeah.
He's on. I don't know who he came on for, but yeah, he's just pinged one 60 yards to Harry Kane. I think,
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, well,
Yeah,
yeah,
he's
he's
I
in
think that guy is
inverting.
the oh he's inverting.
Well, he's going to stand beside the centre half for no reason.
I think it's this player right here.
Show me. Go back to the main. Okay, let me just commit that image to memory and go back to the main guy.
Yeah, got that image in
Let's
your
go.
head there.
Switch back. Switch
Ready?
back. Switch back. Yeah.
All right. Doing a little CSI here, I guess. Like a version of it. That's my guess. That's my guess.
I'm not convicting him on it. Is all
Right.
I'll say. I'm
Right.
not
Right. Right.
saying that. Yeah. I'm not sending him down for that. But I think that might be our guy.
Yeah,
I
because
think
that
it.
is again,
Yeah.
that is that guy right there
Yeah.
on the left side here, right here, and that I
That's a
think
card
is
from the
this
Italian
guy
'90
in
World
here.
Cup, by the way.
Yeah.
That's what
Yep.
that is. That's a card from the Italian
Yep.
'90 World Cup, which is absolutely fucking awesome.
Yeah. He played for Argentina.
Best World Cup ever. Best World Cup ever. Yeah, like that
Uh,
mascot with the ball
uh,
over her head. This is so basic. And then the other
yeah.
like logo was just a ball with Italian '90 written under it. It's just like, yeah,
Yeah.
cool. That was it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. The
um,
mascot is awesome. You know.
oh no, it's good. But you had the Nessun Dorma, Nessun Dorma, the Pavarotti song, which
Mm.
basically became the biggest song in the world for like 2 years because of that bloody World Cup. But the BBC coverage of it is the, in England. I mean, the national broadcaster is kind of legendary, and we were at it, and it's Ireland's greatest ever international performance. So if you were alive in Ireland in 1990, then
Mm.
that's your World Cup. That is, and probably will always be. Or if we ever beat that, I don't think we will, because that was when we had the likes of the Houghtons and the Aldridges and stuff. So yeah, that's a good one. I'm telling
Well,
you, man, England.
80th minute. 80th minute.
Jeez.
England still 0-0. I'm gonna let you guys enjoy the last bits of this. See if Trent can't get you a winner for those that are supporting England. But for all of us that are supporting Trent, good luck to him. And yeah, do you want to say anything to people before we let them go and do what they
No,
got to
just
do?
we'll see you all again. I know like it wasn't a big crowd tonight because everyone's probably watching, the
Oh
game.
yeah,
But
yeah,
you
yeah.
know, for those people that were here, just brilliant to see everybody in, and we'll see hopefully uh, again. Yeah, tomorrow we'll be doing something. We'll always be doing something, even if there's matches going on. So if you want a bit of a light relief from this England torture, I mean, good lord. I pity you people. I really do. Uh, yeah, so come on here. God,
Definitely,
0-0
definitely.
against Slovenia. Jesus Christ.
Hey. Well, I hope that this does not affect your mental health too drastically. But in
No,
all due sincerity, I do wish and hope that you focus and support your physical health, as the Irishman included on that one. And I also hope that you do the same with your mental health as well. As in, I hope that you find professional help if necessary for those means. Always know that as Reds, we walk with you. And last but not least, I would always have to say is up the Reds, brothers and sisters, up the Reds. We'll see you tomorrow.